You are now listening to WSN, Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now an Odyssey station.
Live from Carrollton, Georgia, this is Sports Pack.
Home of the hottest takes and the best interviews in college radio.
Hold on, wait a minute. We need a little more energy. This is Sports Pack. Yeah, there we go.
Home of the hottest takes and debates.
There is no way I'm going to sit here and roll with Jared Stidham and Aiden O'Connell.
Richard.
There's just no way.
And the best interviews in college radio.
This is five-time Olympic medalist Alana Myers-Taylor.
This is Super Bowl champion quarterback Brad Johnson, and you're listening to Sports Pack on the Wolf Sports Network.
And the Wolves play here.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic Monday edition of Sports Pack. I'm Richard Reed, joined as always by Carly Pear, John Howley,
hello,
and not Jackson Schrader today. He was feeling a little under the weather. His voice wasn't all the way there, so we gave him a well-needed day of rest. So in that fourth seat, we're going to have a bit of a revolving chair here today. But starting off is our main woman, Phoenix Lindquist over here. How you feeling today, Phoenix?
Feeling great. How are you?
Pretty good. Glad to be back, man.
Richard, tell us how your connection making went last week.
It was all right. It was pretty cool. Got to see some new things, experience some new things.
Didn't run into any Cougars, did you?
Huh?
You didn't run into
I didn't go to Utah this time. I didn't run into any Mormon Cougars. Went and saw a man by the Billy Goat. But what I was doing does not matter. That's old news. But we got a lot of big-time sports news to get into with a whole bunch of UWG sports, NBA and college basketball, because it is officially March, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to be that loud, but man, it's March. The March Madness tournament is right around the corner. The NBA is getting close to the playoff push, so games are getting more intense, and NFL free agency is about to begin 1 week from today. But before we get started, Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network are proud to help reduce the 21% of adults with low literacy skills. We are collecting new and gently used books for every pre-K student monthly. So give today by visiting wolfradio.com/bookdrive. That is wolfradio.com/bookdrive. Starbucks has all the deals this semester, like buy one get one on the Penguin cookie, up to 50% off on all Starbucks tumblers, and a happy hour on Fridays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for 50% off all refreshers and cake pops. And look, as a guy that recently tried cake pops, I'm going to be there on Friday. Dude,
him and I both.
I recently tried cake pops for the first time a little while ago. Dude, them things freaking amazing. Like, why didn't nobody tell me? Make sure you go by Starbucks here on campus and get all those big-time deals. Now, college students who binge drink alcohol at least 3 times per week were roughly 6 times more likely to perform poorly on a test or a project as a result of drinking. That is why the Crafty Rabbit Meadery has joined forces with Wolf Sports Network and Wolf Radio's Drink Responsibly campaign to remind students drinking should be done responsibly and in an environment that discourages overindulging. Faculty will not take hangovers as excuses.
As Widener rolls to the right, he's got some time. Everybody's down at the end zone. He heaves it, and it is caught for a touchdown.
We are one. Go Wolves.
Didn't know I told a joke there, but anyway, it's time to get into the show.
Yes.
West Georgia Spring Athletics are on a roll.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And right now, our softball team, they started off hot, but they've been on a bit of a skid recently, currently sitting at 6-8 right now, taking a couple tough losses this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
My bad, I was on the wrong page of the website. But yeah, they took a few tough losses this past weekend, losing to Southeastern Louisiana 2-0. Didn't even know there was a Southeastern Louisiana, but that's neither here or there. Then losing to Stephen F. Austin University, wherever that is, somewhere in Austin, Texas, 13-0. One thing about it, we know they can play ball out there in Texas.
Yep.
And also losing to Houston Christian with a score of 10-2. That was a rough 3-game skid, but it's all right, because tomorrow they have a chance to get right back on the road as they are hosting Jacksonville State University right here in the city of dreams, Carrollton, Georgia. The girls will have their chance to get back on the roll. So I want to open the floor up to any of y'all. What does this team need to do to get back in that win column and get our 7th dub of the season?
I think it's just being at home. They've been traveling this whole season. I think with just the amount you traveled from going to Louisiana to Alabama to North Carolina several times, I think you're kind of exhausted to be traveling so much. And I feel like when you travel so much, I remember back in high school when we traveled so much. Once I got back home, I was excited. It's exciting to be at home and have your home opener. So I think them being home tomorrow will be a huge boost.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, they have been completely on the road. I mean, back looking at the weekend of February 22nd, I mean, they had to go all the way to North Carolina, and then that Tuesday after, they were going to Birmingham, and then 3 days after that, they were going to Louisiana, and they played 2 games. They played 2 games Friday, 2 games Saturday, and a game on Sunday. So, I mean, they are worn out. They're ready to be home, and I'm excited to see our girls at home.
Exactly. It's time to bring them home. And no better day than tomorrow, where they will play at 6 p.m. at their softball field. But we also have another game tomorrow, as our baseball team is home once again, taking on the Samford Bulldogs tomorrow at 3:30. Now, this team, on the other hand, has been red hot, starting their season off 7-3 and getting their first ever D1 conference sweep. Yeah, they brought the brooms out. They swept Eastern Kentucky up out of here, winning the first game 9-3. The second game 5-4. And then the third game in dramatic fashion, I should say emphatically, 14-4. Our baseball team has been balling. Phoenix, what do you want to see from them tomorrow?
Just coming back out with a strong start to their dramatic win, 14-4. And hoping for the best for a at-home win.
Really, the highlight for me this weekend, I was actually at a couple of games taking photos. Our pitching has been outstanding. Our starting pitchers. First game, Seth Dudley pitched 6-inning shutouts. Then second game, Lane Pearson threw 13 strikeouts through 6 innings, and then really just had great bats at the very last game. So everything was just firing on all cylinders. So really just, I don't know who our starting pitcher is tomorrow, but just to keep the pitching up. Our starting pitching is our core right now, and when they're doing well, the bats are well, and it really helps us there in the long run.
Yeah, we've had a lot of standout players from this baseball team, and Phoenix, I want you to share some of those standout players with us.
Yeah, so in the first game, we have Landon Widener with 1 home run.
Awesome.
In the second game, we have Blake Bradford with 1 home run. And then the third game, Brady McDevitt with 1 home run. So 3 people getting home runs in each game is pretty impressive.
That's darn good. And like John said, the pitching has been hot, so we got great arms on the mound so far, and the bats have been hot as well. That right there is the recipe for success in baseball. Obviously, you don't need to make errors too, but if you had to pick 2 things or the keys, if you tell me these 2 things are going right, then we're going to win this game. And that is got great arms and hot bats. That right there is really all you're looking for from a coach and a fan. It's like, man, if we got these 2 things going, our team is going to be pretty hard to beat. Now, our men's basketball team, they weren't that hard to beat this year. And I hate to say it like that, but it was a perfect segue. And their season is over. Hate to say it. We'll have a lot of the players. Hopefully we'll have some of them on the show very soon. But it wasn't the season we've been looking forward to. But our women's basketball team really bounced back. They were 13-16 this year, 7-11 in conference play. And that was good enough to punch their ticket into the conference tournament, where they will face off this Friday in Fort Myers, Florida. So if you're in the area, go swing by, check out our girls team in the ASUN conference tournament, where they will take on Austin P once again. Now let's go back a little bit. I pulled out the time stone. Let's go back. Last time we played Austin P was on the road in Clarksville, Tennessee, where we beat them 58-52. So our team's been beating up on this Austin P team throughout the year. So I'm really looking forward to see them stomp Austin P out at the end of this week and move on to the second round of the ASUN tournament. Now, before we wrap this West Georgia segment up, I must say that this Saturday is the West Georgia spring game. Now, a lot of teams around the country, Nebraska, Tennessee, University of Texas, coaches have been canceling their spring games. They're saying, I don't want to risk getting my players hurt, or I don't want to risk tampering, having these televised games and all this kind of stuff. But you know what? One Joel Taylor out here in West Georgia said, I don't care anything about that. We're going to keep this tradition going. Our guys are going to play on Saturday in front of our fans during the spring game, and I am so excited to see it. So if you're in the area, we're going to dive more into this game on Thursday. Excuse me. But if you are in the area around 2 p.m. on Saturday, be sure to swing by to University Stadium to get your first look at our 2025 West Georgia Wolves football team. And also, if that gets you a little excited and you want a little preview of what's to come, be sure to check out Wolf Sports Network's YouTube channel right here tomorrow afternoon, probably around noon to 3-ish. We don't know. Follow us on Instagram to see exactly when the video is posted, because me and Carly had the opportunity to have an exclusive interview with Joel Taylor, and that our head football coach, and that video will be posted tomorrow on our YouTube channel. Stay tuned for that, and also stay tuned because we're going to take a quick ad break. But when we get back, we're going to dive into this March Madness basketball. You don't want to miss it. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.
You are listening to Sports Pack here on Wolf Sports Network, your home for all things UWG athletics.
Hey, do you want to be a part of Wolf Sports Network? Yeah! Well, I have some good news for you, because you can join us. Woohoo! So if you want to learn more about this, go to wolfsportsnetwork.com and click WIT Sports Program. With becoming a WIT, you expand your knowledge in the sports radio world and join our ever-growing family.
New face over there, you're not tripping. We got my guy JT over here shadowing the board. He's running through the WIT program right now. Brandon, how you feeling, baby? Welcome to Sports
I'm feeling
Pack.
great being on here for the first time.
And we can't wait to meet you once you join us.
It's a brand new season, and you know what that means. A brand new series.
Kool-Aid Jackson Cook.
Mark my words, by the end of his career, Nolan Arenado will be better than Chipper Jones.
Jackson Cook.
New short series, exclusively on Wolf Sports Network YouTube.
Kool-Aid Jackson Cook.
Make sure to like and follow on all socials for more content.
Over the horizon, a new show rises over Wolf Sports Network. To bring light to all things college sports. The Playbook, 6 to 7 p.m. every Tuesday on Wolf Sports Network. The Wolves play here.
Wolf Sports Network is going to have you covered with content for every day of the week, Monday through Friday. Sports Pack is bringing you all the news in the sports world today on Mondays and Thursdays at 6. Sports Out of Pocket is bringing you sports commentary with a comedic twist on Wednesdays at 5. And sit back and relax and grab your favorite snack, because Triple Threat is bringing you the chill content on Fridays at 11. And we have a brand new show coming to Wolf Sports Network, The Playbook, where they talk about everything going on in the college sports world on Tuesdays at 6. So make sure you're tuning in Monday through Friday for all the content Wolf Sports Network is bringing you this semester.
Dine West is committed to offering a diverse menu that accommodates to a wide range of dietary preferences, including vegan, gluten-free, and any multicultural options. Their diverse menu changes daily, and you can view the weekly offerings for both East and West Commons Dining Hall at westga.edu/dinewest. That is westga.edu/dinewest. Let's talk some college hoops. Man. I'm so ready. Like, you know what that song was, right? That song's called March Madness by arguably the greatest rapper of this generation, Mr. Future Hendrix. Now, he's got some bigger fish to fry right now. He's got some drama going on. Well, we're not about to get into that. But it is indeed March. It is March 3rd, and it's time, because March basketball is some of the best basketball you will see. But before we fully dive into that, let me welcome my brother, Michael Smith onto the show. My bad, bro. My bad.
You good.
Michael is in our WIT program right now. He's currently training, and this is his first time being on air. So, Michael, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great, First time on here. Ready to talk about basketball.
Let's do it, bro. Let's do it.
Yes,
Lim is also joining us here. As you can tell, this is not Carly. So let's jump right into it. College basketball is really starting to get rolling now. It's March. March Madness is the name of the game, and we're 13 days away from Selection Sunday. And there are there's been a lot of movement in the top 25 right now. I want to start off with the Tennessee Volunteers. They had a huge game the other day where they beat Alabama by a buzzer beater. John, I know you were watching this game.
Yes, I was.
Talk us through a little bit of what happened.
So I came in around the second half watching it, but what I saw is like this, the main question on Alabama is their defense. And yeah, both teams were playing great defense, but really we're just going to get right to it, going to cut to the chase. It came to the very end, the foul happens, Alabama's trying to rebound back in, get the 5-second violation. Next thing you know, whole Tennessee Stadium's going crazy. So Tennessee gets the ball, and next thing you know, they put that buzzer beater up from what? He's about 40 feet out or something? Almost. Yeah. Dude. Everyone's going crazy. I'm going crazy in the dining hall. I mean, it came out to be a really tough, gritty defensive game, but man, that was awesome. So it really makes March exciting, especially for SEC tournament as well.
Oh yeah, it's getting to that point because the SEC has already been incredible, like you're saying. We're getting very close to tournament play. These are some of the last regular season games that are about to be played in this next week or two. So Auburn's been crowned the SEC regular season champion. It's all said and done. But going into the SEC tournament is where these things get shaky because you still have Auburn. Tennessee, with that big-time win against Alabama, has punched their ticket into the top 5 and the top 25, currently sitting at number 4. Florida's at number 5. Alabama's at number 7. It'd take me all day to list through where all the SEC teams are sitting. Yeah. But there are a lot of great teams in the SEC. So, Michael, I want to start with you first. When looking at this Alabama team, they've slipped up a few times the past few weeks. They're not looking as invincible as they did last year. What do you still believe in this Alabama team, or do you think their defense being their Achilles heel will be too much to overcome?
I think it'd be too much to overcome. After they don't really have that much, skill and everything. I say they do have skill. They're usually up there, top 10.
All right, they still have Marcus Sears and a few other guys.
But ever since they lost, what's his name? He went to the Hornets.
You're talking about Brandon Miller?
Brandon Miller. He was a dog. Ever since they lost him, I don't know. It kind of fell through.
Lim, are you buying it? Are you buying Alabama still?
I still got faith in them. I still got faith in Alabama, man. I got faith in my boy Mark Sears and them. And Richard kind of touched on that, I think with John or Richard, or it's their defense though. Their
defense is the big
thing. If they can find a way to lock in on their defense going forward from here, I think they have a shot, but it's going to be a very tough task because the college basketball picture right now, I mean, it's all over crazy. The place. And the reason why I think this college basketball is so crazy this year is because of the transfer portal. But I mean, going back to Alabama, yeah, man. I mean, like the defense, if they can fix that and instill confidence in themselves going forward, I think they have a shot.
Lim, I'm so glad you said that because I believe you are 100% right. The transfer portal in college basketball has really opened things up for a lot of teams. When you look at the top 25, there are teams that are built from the transfer portal. A lot of teams that may have already had good coaches but were missing the one superstar player. Like you look at, and now of course I'm blanking on the teams I wanted to list. You look at Texas Tech with JT Toppin. You look at even Wisconsin with Tonje on their team and a whole bunch of other guys. Missouri got a lot of guys from the portal. So did Arizona with Caleb Love. Like there are a lot of teams that are in the top 25 and looking to make a title push this season that are built on players from the portal. And that's what's making this year so interesting because there's so many different ways you can go with your bracket this year. You can lean with the SEC team like Auburn or Florida, who's also built a lot out of the transfer portal with additions like Elijah Martin, who was on the FAU team a few years ago. Or you could pivot to the Big Ten that hasn't had a March Madness champion in over 25 years now.
It's been a minute.
But they've got a lot of good teams. You have Michigan, who will go 2 7-footers on the court just about all time. It's hard to score on them. Yeah. Michigan State, led by Tom Izzo, they've got some dogs this year. Wisconsin, who just lost to Michigan State this past weekend, but is still a very good team. So when you're looking all around the college basketball landscape, it's hard to just pinpoint a certain team to roll with.
Right.
But since that's so hard, I'm going to make y'all do it. So when looking at the entire landscape, what is one team that you would pick is, look, this it might be a team people are looking at, or might be a team that a lot of people are overlooking that could really shake things up in the tournament this year.
Why you got to put me on the spot again, Richard?
Oh, you don't have to go first. Hey. Michael said he was ready. Let's let Michael go first. Let's go for it.
Auburn is already number 1. I think they have a fair shot of winning this whole thing. But also, Houston, that's like a team to watch out for.
Dude, Houston's close every year.
They have an 8-game win streak so far. That's the highest game win streak right now. But Auburn also, that's the next team to watch out for because Tahad, and I'm telling you, that team is clutch. If they need a player to shoot a 3 to end the game, they'll show up. So yeah, that's what I think.
Auburn's a really good team, man. And like when you look at them, like you said, they're built up from the top and bottom. You have the obvious guys like Tahaj Pettiford and even Janai Broome. That's probably one of the favorites to. I shouldn't say probably. That is one of the favorites to win National Player of the Year this year. But when you look up and down their roster, they're built to win. But you also look at Houston. They're the Big 12 regular season champions right now. Would you say they're on an 8-game win streak?
Yep.
They have tough road wins in places like Texas Tech, like Kansas. They are a really good team.
Yeah.
Lim?
I'm gonna go with a few teams, right? So, I mean, obviously we got Auburn, and Auburn, like they've shown they're so dangerous. Like they're so dangerous when it comes to.
They can beat anybody.
They can beat anybody. So they got a lot of momentum right now. Another team that I think could go all the way is St. John's. Yes,
St. John's is a really good team.
St. John's is a really good team. I really like Kadari Richmond, and I like what Rick Pitino has done over there this season. So I wouldn't be surprised if St. John makes it all the way. And Duke. I know. I know a lot of people. I feel like some people earlier in the season or preseason they thought, oh, they're young and they got a lot of freshmen.
I was one of those people. I'll admit it. I thought they were too young. I thought they were too young.
Right. Yeah. And me too. I kind of thought that, but like I also thought about like they still have Tyrese Proctor and Caleb Foster and some transfers that they got from other schools that have experience and they know how systems work and they know they've seen what college basketball looks like. They've been around the block a few times. They've been around the block, so Duke really has a good chance to get a title, but it's so up in the air. Like I said, 2 teams, but it's so up in the air. Like it's like any team can get it. I really feel like
it's really up in the air. And I want to talk about one team you mentioned. St. John's, led by legendary Hall of Fame head coach Rick Pitino. Super good team. I've had so much fun watching them throughout this season. They suffocate you defensively, create a lot of transition and fast break points. But the one thing about it, and this just goes to the overarching picture of this, why this is so hard to predict, I'm still not all in on St. John's. I love how they are defensively, but I feel like if they play a team like an Alabama with a super high-powered offense, it's going to be hard for them to keep up. Because they don't have those big name top end scorers, and not that big names are everything, but sometimes you need a guy that can just go out there and drop 35 out of nowhere when you really need it. And when I look at St. John's, I don't think they have the shooters and the firepower to withstand an assault from a big time team like Alabama. But on the same end of that, on the opposite of that same coin, when looking at a team like Alabama, who I use, their defense is the problem. So it's like there's a lot of different ways to look at these teams this upcoming tournament. And we're going to keep breaking it down these next few weeks because things are just going to keep heating up and more questions are going to arise. But now, let's talk about the NBA.
Rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Baby, let's talk some NBA. There was a great NBA weekend this weekend, man. Great games up and down. I want to start with a game that was a few nights ago. The Cleveland Cavaliers, the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference, went on the road to Boston to take on the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference, and who a lot of people are looking at as their favorites to win the NBA Finals this year, the Boston Celtics. The Celtics started out going up 11-0 on the Cleveland Cavaliers. At one point, they were up 25-3. Yes, they had a 22-point lead. And also, before I even say the outcome of the game, I'm just going to keep listing off stuff. So the Boston Celtics had a 22-point lead in the first quarter. Jason Tatum went on to score 46 points. Jaylen Brown had 37.
Gosh.
And the Cleveland Cavaliers still fought, scratched, and clawed their way back into this game, eventually winning 123-116 on the back of 41 points from Donovan Mitchell and 20 from Darius Garland. This game was incredible. I watched this game live, and I was thinking the same thing. Man, this could be an amazing series in the Eastern Conference Finals. But I want to open this up to y'all first. Lim, let's start with you. What do you make of the Eastern Conference after seeing this game? Is it still the Celtics to lose, or are these just the 2 alpha dogs in the conference? It could go either way.
It could go either way still. And I know me and you talked about it the other show. Who were winning the 7-game series, and I think Boston would still win. You know, this is one game, and it's sad to see Boston letting that lead slip in the first half or in the first quarter. But and then Jason Tatum scoring 46 points in a loss. But still, I just think when the playoffs come, if they end up matching up against each other, I still have Boston winning that game. Again, I still think in a 7-game series they have the experience to do so. But you got to give credit to Cleveland for winning this game. I mean, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, they're bigs. Like I said, they still have a very complete team in terms of their starting lineup. Two bigs that can do bang down low and get rebounds and score. Two guards, Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, who really can take the load offensively. So Cleveland is still a very great team, but I still think Boston can somehow win a series against Cleveland. Yeah.
No, that's a good point that you brought up. And Celtics got Jason Tatum, and they just won the last, championship. But I think that Cavaliers going to win this one because...
Okay. Oh, you said the Cavaliers going to win the NBA Finals?
The whole thing.
Oh,
they're so consistent.
That's why I like you, Michael. That's why I like you, Michael. Come in with the hot take. Walk us through.
I got the stats for it, too. They're so consistent.
Let's
hear it, bro.
They are number one in the seed for Eastern Conference.
Yep.
50 wins, 10 losses. Cannot get over that. They have a 10-game win streak.
Yep.
And the next thing I like about this team is you don't only need Donovan Mitchell. You have other role players and stuff that come off the bench and give you 20 points. I remember there's a game where Donovan Mitchell wasn't playing this week, I think. And
let me jump in here and help you out there. The game you were talking about was last night against the Portland Trailblazers. Another game where, like you said, Donovan Mitchell wasn't playing and the Cavaliers went down early. And DeAndre Hunter, who they just acquired from the Atlanta Hawks, led them in scoring.
Hurts my heart.
32
Hurts my heart.
And the next thing is he had a partner with him that also scored 20 points, and they were both college teammates.
Evan Mobley.
Yep. And, man, I'm telling you, when you have people like that come off the bench to drop 20 and, just be consistent, show up.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
You're exactly right. Like, when you look at that team, it's deeper than just the stars. Because a lot of teams, it's like, man, we're going to need 50 every night for this to happen. Like the Mavericks last year. Yes, they went on to the finals, but they needed big games from Luka and Kyrie every single time. That's why they lost in the finals to the Celtics, because nobody else was just stepping up and could shoulder the load for a game. But like Michael just said, the Cavaliers have guys. Their roster's deep. Last night, Donovan Mitchell didn't play. A guy that normally comes off the bench is their sixth man, and DeAndre Hunter, like I said, who just came from the Atlanta Hawks, was in their starting lineup, dropped 32 points. Evan Mobley dropped 20. And then still off their bench, Ty Jerome, their amazing, outstanding three-point shooter, dropped 25 points off the bench.
I love Ty Jerome.
So when you look at that team, bro, you look at this Cavaliers team, it's hard not to say they're going to make it. Now it's going to be super tough task to get past the Boston Celtics. But if there's a team that can do it, it's the Cavs. And that's what's different about this year than last year. Right. Last year, people kept saying, man, the Celtics had a cakewalk to the finals, and then the Mavericks were just a bad matchup. When you look at the Eastern Conference this year, nothing about it's a cakewalk. The Milwaukee Bucks are starting to surge at the right time. The New York Knicks are still a very tough and scrappy team. They had a great game last night. And then you have, the Detroit Pistons. All kind of teams. The Pacers are really starting to surge this year as well. And then at the top of that list, the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Eastern Conference this year is nothing like it was last year. They're ready to face off with the Celtics.
Yeah.
I also got one thing to add. The Pistons, 6th in the seed. That really caught me off guard because...
So I'm on the same page. It threw me off seeing that they're the 6th seed right now.
Pistons can ball, man.
If I'm not wrong, I think they have the worst losing streak in NBA history last year.
Yep, last year they did.
Yeah, they had the worst record, I'm pretty sure.
They're 6th. That's crazy.
Wingstop said they give away free wings the night that they won. Wingstop in Detroit, I remember that, and they were safe for a long time because that losing streak was well over 20 games. But now they got a star in Cade Cunningham, averaging 25 points and 9 assists a game. Jalen Duren's holding it down with 10 rebounds a game. They got some guys out there in Detroit.
Dude.
But I want go ahead, Lim.
No, I'm just gonna say the younger teams, like Pistons, kind of a young team, and I said the same about the Magic about a few years ago. I said if they keep their young core, they can make it the playoffs. And the Magic, I think they're in the playoff season right now. So there's a Magic.
The Mavericks are currently sitting as an 8 seed.
Yeah, the Magic and the Pistons. I just seen the development over the years. But yeah,
also to add to that, I was really hoping Hornets to be in the top 10 because the Pistons, the way that they could come from down there, being the last in the seed to being 6th in the next year.
Yeah.
I hope that, LaMelo and his team develop and next year they could be in the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, LaMelo's a star, man. I really want him to get out of Charlotte. I think that's basketball purgatory. But I'm with you. If the Hornets could find a way to get their stuff in order and get things going, they've got a great young star, LaMelo, really just a sensational player, should have been an all-star this year that they could build around. But I want to pivot from the Eastern Conference before we wrap this segment up. And I want to look at the West for a second. because some things have changed this weekend. Just a week ago, the Memphis Grizzlies were currently sitting as the 2 seed in the Western Conference, but now there's a new 2 seed. The LA Lakers, currently sitting at 38-21, have been wiping the floor with the Western Conference, tacking on win after win after win. The Lakers are starting to surge at the right time. Even last night, Luka Doncic, I don't know why I was going to say LeBron, obviously because he's on the team, but Luka dropped 29 points last night. He is outright balling. He almost had a triple-double. He had like 9 assists and 8 rebounds or vice versa. He had an amazing game. So when I look at this Lakers team, they're really starting to put it together. And I doubted them early on. I looked at that trade and I was like, look, you're sending Anthony Davis to the Mavericks, pair him up with Kyrie. I didn't think the Lakers had what it took defensively. I was like, the Lakers won in the long term and the Maverick lost in the short. But looking at the job J.J. Redick has done as his first time ever as a head coach in the NBA, dude, he is doing an amazing job, has them playing insane defense. They just straight up seal off the paint, do not allow you in there. And then with that rotation with I almost said Donovan Mitchell. With Luka Doncic, Dalton Connect, yeah, he's part of that. But LeBron James and Austin Reeves. Dude, this Lakers team is terrifying.
Yo, and I like how you said the Western Conference, they just have, like, it's so tight because you got this, the between the 2 seed and the 5th seed is like a 2-game difference. So if LA loses 2 games and Houston wins 2 games, then Houston
Houston
go back
be
to
that 2
spot.
seed.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So the Western Conference has always been a tough conference. You guys know?
I'm glad they kept Dalton Connect because, when they traded him and it declined, I was like, bro, man, I was so happy.
That was perfect.
He's a clutch 3.
It worked out perfect for them because I really thought they needed that big man. So when they went out and made that trade, I was like, okay, good. The Lakers are getting the size they need. But they are obviously, they're showing people, they have been over this last stretch of the season. Obviously, it has to translate into the playoffs. But based off what we've been seeing, they're showing everybody that we don't need to get bigger. We have everything we need to win right now. And that's exactly what they've been doing because they have been tacking off win after win, currently sitting at the 2 seed. Like you said, they could lose 2 games and Houston could win 2 games and they could swap. But as of right now, the Lakers are sitting at the 2. The defense has been incredible over the last month of the season since All-Star break. Luka's finally hitting his stride. LeBron's still the best 40-year-old to ever play in the NBA. He's been playing out of his mind. Austin Reeves is turning into a star. And like you just said, Michael, keeping Dalton Connect will prove to be huge. Yeah. Not only for this year because he can come off the bench and hit a bunch of threes and just be an outright scorer like he was at Tennessee, but even going forward throughout these next few years with Luka and the Lakers, Dalton Connect will be a big-time part of it.
Hey, what did Senator say? Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5, man. Lakers
That's
in
crazy work,
5.
bro.
In a recent survey, almost 53% of full-time college students ages 18 to 22 drank alcohol in the past month. That is why the Crafty Rabbit Meadery has joined forces with Wolf Sports Network and Wolf Radio's Drink Responsibly campaign, reminding you there is no drinking under the age of 21, to never drink and drive, even if it's only 1 beer, and to add food and water when you drink so you don't end up texting your ex, which means know your limits. Look, Michael, let me tell you something. I know you're young. Nothing good ever comes from texting your ex, man.
No, it's not good.
Stay safe and drink responsibly. Now, we're going to take a quick ad break, but stay tuned because when we get back, we're going to dive into this NFL free agency because this past week has been crazy. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.
You are listening to Sports Pack every Mondays and Thursdays from 6 to 7, only on Wolf Sports Network. Hey, do you want to be a part of Wolf Sports Network? Yeah! Well, I have some good news for you because you can join us. Woohoo! So if you want to learn more about this, go to wolfsportsnetwork.com and click WIT Sports Program. With becoming a WIT, you expand your knowledge in the sports radio world and join our ever-growing family.
New face over there, you're not tripping. We got my guy JT over here shadowing the board. He's running through a WIT program right now.
Oh.
Brandon, how you feeling, baby? Welcome to Sports
I'm feeling
Pack.
great being on here for the first time.
And we can't wait to meet you once you join us.
It's a tale as old as time. All good things must come to an end. But this final ride is going to be legendary.
Oh, yeah.
More legendary than this.
Is this the dagger?
And this.
Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown!
So be sure to listen to Triple Threat every Friday starting at 11 only on Wolf Sports Network.
Sports fans, are you looking for a show where you can see other sports fans sharing in your misery and excitement? Then Sports Out of Pocket is for you, because we're fans too, and we experience our highs.
Bertigine is not a safety. He's just a corner who will lock down your number one.
And our lows.
Trayshawn Ward. Screw you, buddy. You were on our team last year, and you gave us no mercy, okay?
So join us every Wednesday at 5 to cheer and boo along with us, only on Wolf Sports Network. Wolf Sports Network is going to have you covered with content for every day of the week, Monday through Friday. Sports Pack is bringing you all the news in the sports world today on Mondays and Thursdays at 6. Sports Out of Pocket is bringing you sports commentary with a comedic twist on Wednesdays at 5. And sit back and relax and grab your favorite snack, because Triple Threat is bringing you the chill content on Fridays at 11. And we have a brand new show coming to Wolf Sports Network, The Playbook, where they talk about everything going on in the college sports world on Tuesdays at 6. So make sure you're tuning in Monday through Friday for all the content Wolf Sports Network is bringing you this semester.
Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network are proud to boost literacy rates with our pre-K book drive. Our ongoing book drive will provide a new or gently used book to every child at UWG's pre-K monthly. Give today by visiting wolfradio.com/book drive. Together, Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network will make a brighter future. Visit wolfradio.com/book drive. In the NFL, only one thing matters: chasing a dynasty. Man, NFL free agency starts in a week. The combine was last week. A lot of things are happening, and a lot of people know this, but a lot of people may not. At the NFL Combine, obviously, a bunch of GMs and big-time personnel from each NFL team, they're all in the same place, in Indianapolis, sitting in the dome, watching these rookie players. But they're not only sitting around watching these upcoming rookies. What they're also doing is talking amongst one another, planning out trades. And this is always when the first dominoes begin to fall, at the Combine. And the first one fell and sent waves through the NFL community because people couldn't believe how little this guy went for. The San Francisco 49ers trade wide receiver Deebo Samuels to the Washington Commanders for a 5th-round pick.
Essentially a McDouble.
Basically.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, welcome Keyshawn to the show. I told y'all it was going to be a revolving door on that 4th chair. Keyshawn's going to close out the show with us. And notice it's not Lim. Carly is back as well.
If you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I mean, y'all kind of look like, man. But look. Anyway, so Deebo Samuel goes to the Commanders for a 5th-round pick. And then today, the Cincinnati Bengals, for the 2nd year in a row, place a franchise tag on wide receiver T. Higgins.
I don't like it.
Walk us through why you don't like it real quick, Keyshawn, before we get going.
It's not that I don't like that they tagged him. I just don't like the franchise tag in general. Like 2 times in a row, that's a little.
That shouldn't be allowed, bro.
Yeah, it should be limitations to it.
Exactly. It really hurts the players overall. It does not let them really lock in that long-term deal. Because like you said, if he ends up playing under this franchise tag and mess around and gets hurt, and now all of a sudden he can't get that long-term deal.
He can't.
He doesn't have that insurance. Now, like, he's going to get a lot of money with this franchise tag, like 40-something million, but still, he wants to lock in a long-term deal. So let's talk about it, because with the franchise tag, he can still be traded, and another team can just still shoulder the weight of that franchise tag or even renegotiate once he's traded to the team and work out a long-term deal. So with these 2 dominoes falling, the Commanders going out and getting Deebo Samuel, and the Bengals, for right now, putting a franchise tag on T. Higgins, how do y'all think the rest of this crazy wide receiver market is going to work out this offseason?
It's definitely going to be very interesting. Actually, right here from ESPN, just to talk about T. Higgins, the last 6 out of the 7 players who were franchise tagged for consecutive seasons ended up signing a long-term deal. Last one being Chris Godwin with the Buccaneers. So for T. Higgins, I feel like he should go out. And obviously he's franchise tagged, but I feel like he should be traded. Yeah, I don't know exactly sign and trade. I don't know exactly if the Bengals can really afford him right now. It's I know because you're paying Joe Burrow so much. You're paying Jamar Chase. You're going to have
to pay Jamar Chase because you pay him last year. He's going to pull $50 million a year.
Yeah, that's what he's asking for.
Exactly.
So I say...
Still got Trey Hendrickson on the other side of the football as well. They got a lot of people to pay.
I say go trade T. Higgins and, go get value for him. You can get a lot within T. Higgins. I don't know exactly what his values of picks would be, but he could definitely bring in a pick haul, and then maybe you get one other wide receiver as well with that. Not the biggest name, but, maybe you get what I'm trying to think of.
But look, now, if you do trade T. Higgins, Keyshawn, I want to pivot to you. If they do end up trading T. Higgins here, what do you think is the most likely team to go out and try to trade for him?
Raiders.
Okay.
Rams. Chargers.
I like that Rams pick.
I like
Chargers. I like that Rams pick a lot.
They really need a receiver one. I would say the Jets too, because Vontae seems to be out of there.
Yep, he's looking for the door.
It's a lot of teams that could use him, definitely.
Carly, do you have any teams in mind that you think might go out and try to grab T. Higgins or maybe even another big name receiver in this pool right now?
I don't know, because, like we've said, this pool right now with so much movement and so many pieces trying to move around, it's hard to kind of figure that out right now, because I think a lot of these teams need a lot of different things, and their pieces need to match up as well. So I'm going to hold off on my pick for right now for that, just because I do want to see some things shift around a little bit.
I understand that. But the way my mind is working as of right now, you just talked about how things have been shifting. After seeing that Deebo Samuel shift to the Commanders, I'm thinking that they kind of have their temporary answer. People aren't really owing all in on Deebo. He's kind of aging, and the way he plays is really a young man's game. He turns 30 this season. They already have Terry McLaurin. Yeah,
I didn't think it was that
it's crazy,
old.
right?
Yeah, I thought he was like 27,
27,
28.
Yeah, he's going to turn 30
I
during
didn't
the
think he was
season this year.
Yeah, I know.
But their offense already wasn't bad. They went on to add the Swiss Army knife. So I'm taking the Commanders out of this pool right now. I'm looking at two teams, and Keyshawn said both of them. The LA Rams and the LA Chargers. When I look at both of those teams are teams that are looking to add a big-time playmaking receiver to go with their quarterback. The Rams are looking to win right now with Matthew Stafford because they just restructured his deal, and he will be coming back to LA. And the Chargers are looking to get Justin Herbert, his real deal number one receiver, so they can make a real playoff push. But I think the team that has the best chance, I hadn't thought about it much, Keyshawn, until you just said it. But I'm really liking that Rams fit. They're already saying they want to move on from Cooper Kupp. So I say trade for T. Higgins, include Cooper Kupp in that package, send Cooper Kupp to the Bengals. That way the Bengals still have another guy. They'll probably still go out and draft a guy in the first or second round to go along with Cooper Kupp and Jamar Chase. But now you have Puka Nacua and T. Higgins with Matthew Stafford throwing them to football. You already have a very good top 10 offensive line in the NFL. And you have your franchise running back and a very young defense with Sean McVay calling the plays. That right there could be a Super Bowl team because they were 20 yards short of beating the Eagles this past year. So I think the Rams adding T. Higgins might just get them over the hump and make it to the Super Bowl. Now, I have one more question. I was watching some sports earlier today, launching a few different sports networks. Wolf Sports Network's the best you're going to find, but I like to watch our little brothers every now and again too.
There you go.
And when I was watching, they posed a great question. If you are an NFL franchise this offseason and you need to you've checked off every other box, but you need to fill one more spot and it's your quarterback position. And you have two options. Either Sam Darnold, coming off the best year of his NFL career, leading the 14-2 Minnesota Vikings, or Aaron Rodgers, who had a disappointing outing this past year in New York with the Jets, but he still had 26 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Which quarterback would y'all go with?
I'm going Darnold.
I'm going Darnold
as well.
And it's a no-brainer.
I think if we're talking longevity and the fact that he's rejuvenated his career, I would take Darnold all day. Don't get me wrong, respect Aaron Rodgers. He's not a 4-time MVP for no reason. We know what he can do, but he's just older. If I'm trying to build for the long term, then I'm going Sam Darnold all day.
It's still Aaron Rodgers, though.
Oh, absolutely. No discredit to Aaron Rodgers.
It's still Aaron Rodgers. It's still Aaron Rodgers.
But I'm looking at the long term here.
Yeah.
I want someone who just got things going. If it stays like that, then I'm going to take him in his long term and see what I can get out of it.
Yeah. Carly, how you feel?
You're going to have to be the lone soldier on this one because I'm going to take Sam Darnold as well.
And it's so bold of you to assume I'd go with Aaron Rodgers.
Really?
Well, let me just walk y'all through something here. Sam Darnold was in the picture-perfect situation this past year in Minnesota.
Absolutely.
Justin Jefferson, the best wide receiver. Well, now you can say arguably the best wide receiver in football is between him and Jamar Chase. Both teammates at LSU. That team was not fair.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Amazing head coach. Great defense led by Brian Flores. Jordan Addison, who was a great wide receiver too. Aaron Jones in the backfield. They had a great team in Minnesota. But those last few games of the season, one against the Detroit Lions, they finally faced adversity, faced off with a good team. They got dismantled. Sam Darnold was seeing ghosts again just like he was in New York. And then you look at their playoffs. They faced off against a team where everybody looked at it and was like, yes, the Vikings are the better team here, and got picked apart by the LA Rams we just spoke of. So when I'm looking at this, I'm like, yes, Sam Darnold played a great season in the perfect situation. But when he really had those big games where you needed your franchise quarterback to step up, he was nowhere to be found. So when I'm looking at it, I know Aaron Rodgers had a rough year, but so did the Jets as a whole. They kept changing play callers and head coaches. The O-line was atrocious. And he still put up 26 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. If I'm going with somebody, I'm going with the guy that I've seen ball out consistently at a high level in the biggest moments. I get Sam Darnold's younger, but I'm going with Aaron Rodgers.
Ain't mad at it.
Hey, man.
I'm going with that man, Aaron Rodgers.
You got your island for a reason, all right?
Yeah,
I don't think we're shocked, Richard.
I'll stand on this island by myself. Like I don't know why. I don't know why y'all are surprised. But I love Aaron Rodgers, obviously. I mean, I think I have a pretty solid point. But let's move on to some sports news.
The Dodgers introducing Shohei Ohtani after signing him to a record-breaking contract.
Nick Saban is retiring.
Breaking news on Sports Pack. I think one of the biggest things going on, hopping out of NFL, Jimmy Johnson is retiring as a Fox Sports NFL analyst. I mean, he has been like the face almost. So really sad that he's retiring. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson's been great, bro. Watching those NFL, I've been watching Jimmy Johnson on Fox and NFL pregame and postgame show, even the halftime show, my entire life. So seeing Jimmy Johnson move on, man, it's gonna be a void for sure. They have a really good show. They're gonna find a way to fill that.
But it's never gonna be the same.
Man, it's gonna be weird without Jimmy Johnson. We're starting to see a lot of the older guys we've grown up on kind of retire and move on.
Don't get me thinking like that, man.
Yeah, it's like a whole new generation coming up, which is super cool.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild. That's opening door for people like us, though.
I'm gonna miss some cussing out the Cowboys on camera.
Yes.
I think we all are. I think we all are.
We're gonna need someone else to cuss out the Cowboys because there just has to be someone to do that.
Stephen A's doing a pretty good job.
I think he can take over for that.
Needs to cuss out Jerry Jones
Yeah,
specifically.
Yes. Hopping over to some WNBA news. So I know we saw at the Super Bowl, Serena Williams made an appearance at the halftime show, and she is actually buying a share of the new WNBA team that is set to hit the floor this summer, the Toronto Tempo.
Yes, Lord.
So I'm super excited for this, to see a lot of well-known sports athletes putting their name in the hat for all these WNBA teams.
Yeah, the WNBA is growing, and I can't say I'm too surprised because of how the caliber of athlete in the WNBA has really begun to take the next step.
Right.
We saw it with Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and now we're seeing other players coming through the college ranks like Paige Beckers, Juju Watkins, Flau'jae Johnson at LSU. And as the game continues to grow and they're beginning to pack out arenas, more and more outstanding talent is beginning to make their way to the WNBA. It's time to expand. They need some new blood. The Toronto Tempo has a pretty good ring to it. I kind of like how that sounds. It really rolls off the tongue. So when you're seeing the way the game's growing, I'm loving it, man. And I want to hear some more people give Juju Watkins the praise she deserves. I know a lot of people talk about her. They're going to talk about her a lot in the tournament. But, dude, she has been playing outstanding. USC just had a big-time win against the then number two team in the country, UCLA. And Juju led the way in scoring. She's averaged right around 25 points per game this season. She's really taking her game to the next level, and she does it on both sides. She can shoot the three. She's a three-level scorer, and she gets it done defensively, too. Juju Watkins is a dog. I'm not sitting here saying she's better than Caitlin Clark, because Caitlin Clark's incredible, and she's about to have a great year with the Indiana Fever. But listen, Juju Watkins just might be the best current player in women's college basketball right now. There's a lot
over Paige?
She just might be. She's in the conversation. There's a discussion to be had. There's a discussion to be had. But that's all I'm saying. Looks like how you said over Paige. And there's a few other players that we could maybe put their names into the ring too. That's just showing how much the game's growing, and I freaking love it.
Yeah, definitely over at Texas too. You have Madison Booker as well. There are so many names in this college women's basketball that I'm super excited about. Another big history moment over the last week for women's collegiate sports. So over at Clemson, over the last couple years, they have started their collegiate gymnastics program, and they had Bree Clark. It's actually really funny because she actually practiced at the same gym that I did when I lived in Mobile. She committed to Utah State, and then she transferred to Clemson to start the inaugural years of this Clemson gymnastics team. And over the weekend, she was the first collegiate gymnast to ever successfully compete the Biles 1 in a oh my gosh,
gymnastics.
Yes, in a gymnastics meet. Oh my gosh, I blanked on my words. Which the Biles 1, obviously, Simone Biles created this. Oh my gosh, I'm just blanking on my words today. She created this skill, and it is a super hard skill. So it's on the floor, and when you basically see gymnasts pass from one corner of the floor to the other corner of the floor. Basically, the way that it is it's a double layout with a half twist. So if you don't know what that means, it's just
I've got
it sounds very complicated.
It's very complicated. It's very hard. It requires a ton of air time, so you have to get your speed and agility up to stay in the air long enough to make all of those turns in the air and still land it and not hurt yourself. So super cool for.
Are we sure? Are we sure we can't put you out there and get
Nah,
done?
that's
all right.
I'm pretty
I
athletic.
heard you was athletic, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the one thing I can't do though. Look, skiing, I'm there. Look, I can ski
Tennis,
all
you're
day.
there.
I
Golf,
told you
you're there.
they call me the Black Blur.
Yep.
Tennis, they call me the fully black Tiger Woods. Not tennis, I mean golf. Golf, they call me the fully black Tiger Woods. Tennis, I'm just that guy. I don't even know what to tell you. I'm just that
You
guy
flash
in
or
tennis.
something out on the court.
But yeah, gymnastics, I think y'all got that one. I'm not too flexible. I can touch my toes, but that's
I can't even do that one.
You can't touch
I
your
can't
toes.
even do it. It hurts so bad. I can't do that one, bro.
But yeah, super cool. Go check out the video. Simone Biles commented on the post. Clemson's having a ball with that with their social media team. So it's just been super cool to see.
I saw a reaction to Simone Biles commenting twice on Instagram. She couldn't believe it. She was like, oh my gosh, yes. Okay, now I know exactly what you're talking about.
It just now clicked for John.
Yeah, it just now clicked for you.
2 business days, but it clicked.
Yeah, I think just the fact that this Clemson program is only 2 years old, and like they're already having some history makers coming out of that program is pretty incredible. So
that's awesome.
But
real quick, before we wrap up, because it's been a great show and we're almost out of time here, I do have one question. Because I was kind of thinking, we just had the NFL segment. A lot of people are talking about Deebo Samuel going to the Commanders. Why did he go for a 5th round pick? Can he still do it? And honestly, I don't really know how I feel. So I want to open it up to y'all. Do y'all think Deebo Samuel can still get it done at a high level on the Commanders?
Not like he used to, no. I don't think he's another 1,000. I don't think he had 1,000 yards in him left in him. Nah.
So
I think he probably still got 1,000-yard season left. And plus, you have the young rookie. Well, not rookie quarterback anymore, but you have the young quarterback in Jaden Daniels, and there's a lot of hype around him. I would
argue him as the best quarterback in the NFC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think for him, maybe it's just like it's finding some new light, different team, different organization. Let's go see what happens.
Depending on how they use him.
True.
Exactly.
Very true.
And that was my next question. I'm just like, how exactly are they going to use them? If anybody can figure it out, it's Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator over there, former head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, great offensive mind. He was the head coach at Texas Tech with Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes. But it's like, how do you use him? Do you let him free as a full-time wide receiver? Do you keep using him as a gadget guy? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I think the way I've always seen him is a full-time wide receiver. I remember all that controversy he had when they were talking about putting him at running back or what were you going to sign him for. I've always seen him as a wide receiver. He's got the build for it. I think they strictly need to leave him as a wide receiver.
He got a little Eddie Lacy like this past season.
He may. I hope he doesn't eat his way out of the league. Get that McDouble deal going. But still, I don't think he's going to Eddie Lacy this one.
I hope not, but I guess only time will tell. But speaking of, that is all the time we have for Sports Pack today. I appreciate all of you for tuning in. Another great episode. Had a lot of great people on. Carly, John, Keyshawn, Michael, Lim, Phoenix. The list goes on. Schrader, get well soon. He's not feeling too hot today, so he took a day off. But that's all the time we have for Sports Pack today. I'm Richard Reed signing off. Thank you all for tuning in. And by the way, if you want to get in on the action, be sure to call in to the show this Thursday. If you want to know how to call in, DM us on Instagram at Wolf Sports Network. And also, leave a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and stay tuned because we have live shows coming throughout the week, and also a exclusive interview with West Georgia head football coach Joel Taylor coming to the YouTube channel tomorrow. Stay tuned for that as well. But with all that being said, we're gone. See you again, same bat time, same bat channel Thursday.